Are you ready to travel the multiverse? If so, then hold on to your dice as we delve into races of the multiverse. Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon. We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
I am super excited for our main topic today. We are covering the Unearthed Arcana 2021 Travelers of the Multiverse. In my opinion, is Spelljammer on the way? Oh God, I really hope so. It was one of my favorite settings, and there's a lot of Spelljammer feel in this supplement. So I'm really excited. Have you guys, when you guys look through this, did it? What did you think about this Unearthed Arcana and its contents of races?
Well, it's definitely nice to have a few of these races back, that's for sure.
Brandon?
Look at this, it reminds me of that movie,
Hitchhiker's Guide?
that's a good one, yes. But there's another one where it's like you put on glasses and you can see that normal people.
Oh, they live?
I think we lost him. Maybe. Well, that's what I get for asking him a question, I suppose. All right. Well, let's get into it. Hopefully, he'll come back. So I actually do have
people are actually aliens and like billboards that they.
Are you back? You guys talk. Okay. So we are going to talk some of the different things. I'm going to go ahead and pull up on the screen the Unearthed Arcana as we kind of scroll through it. I really enjoy this content. First of all, we get a myriad of new races from Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford. The first one we're going to talk about is the Astral Elf. This, I think they actually,
in the sense that they're rehashing old editions stuff.
Yeah, so new for 5e, but old material, right?
Yeah.
So, Ian, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Astra Elves?
Well, the Astra Elves, are a group of elves who long ago ventured onto the astral plane. They live in the silver void, which has imbued their souls with a spark of divine light, which manifests as a starry gleam in their eyes, because nothing ages in the astral plane. The Astral Elves live for thousands of years, and their longevity gives them an unusual perspective on time. Yes. They get dark vision as usual by ancestry, keen senses, trance, like basically any other elf does, but they also gain astral fire, which allows them to choose to cast dancing light, or sacred flame, using int, wisdom, or charisma for the spellcasting ability score for those that matters. First, I think it's kind of weird that they have dark vision and get light cantrips because they won't need it, but and when they succeed on the death save, they regain a number of hit points equal to their proficiency bonus plus their intelligence, wisdom, or con mod, but they can't use it again until a long rest. So basically, it's like what the kind of what the orcs do, half orcs do, but on crack, kind of.
Yeah. That Radiant Soul feature is really unique because I haven't seen a lot of features that focus on the death save aspect of the game, much less if you succeed, automatically give you hit points. So I envision in my mind like the character glowing in their eyes, their whole body glowing in this energy, and they just slowly rising up like a one of those old cartoons, right? From their back onto
it's
their.
Like when Goku's about to fail, and then he's just like, no.
Yep. And whenever they finish a long rest using trance, they can gain 2 proficiencies of either weapon or tools of their choice. So
that is so cool, especially if you it really captures and lived thing where, okay, I want to know how to do this, so after I take a long rest, I'll access my ancient memories and pull out the proficiency that I need, which is really cool. Overall, this one kind of I really enjoyed. They still have a limit on their age, which is 750 years old, which I thought was kind of a surprise because I felt like stuff that's on the astral plane, does it still age normally?
Which is what, and they say in the flavor text they live thousands of years. So
yeah, so that was kind of but maybe the soul is taking new forms, I guess. Brandon, do you have any thought on the Astral Elf?
I do not.
Okay. Those of you in the audience, if you have any questions in regards to these races, please let us know. Brandon, do you want to tell us about the? This is one
The
of my favorites, the auto gnome.
The Autonome. Autonomes are mechanical beings built by rock gnomes in their image, usually with a particular purpose in mind. For example, a gnome might build an autonome to be a steadfast colleague or a loyal companion, sometimes because of a malfunction or a unique circumstance. An autonome becomes separated from its creator and strikes out on its own. That's like losing grip with AI.
That's very cool.
Traits: construct instead of humanoid. Armored casing. You are encased in thin metal or some other durable metal. While you aren't wearing armor, your base armor class is 13 plus your dex mod. Which
That's awesome.
That's versus the 10 plus your dex mod, right?
All right. Yep. That pretty much puts it at the same level as mage armor, doesn't it?
I believe it does.
Huh. I like that.
Built for success, you can add a d4 to one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw you make, and you can do so after seeing the d20, but before the effects of the roll is resolved. So,
that is really cool. So that's how they can use that a number of times equal to the proficiency bonus. I've been seeing more and more of that where the number of times you can use something isn't based on your ability modifier and instead is your proficiency bonus, which honestly I like a lot better because then it's not tied to a specific stat, which is great for multi-classing or changing up your builds a little bit.
And it scales as you level up.
Yep. So eventually you do actually get more than what you would get. It just takes a little longer to get there, which is pretty cool. But this effect in and of itself is pretty dope. This is like a minor like bardic inspiration, right? Or a minor lucky feature. The lucky feat, right?
Somewhat.
Add it to the attack roll, ability check, or saving throw you make. I love it.
Let's see what else we got with these guys. There's that. There's mechanical nature. You have resistance to poison damage and immunity to disease. Not too surprised. I mean, you're mechanical. And you have advantage on saving throws against being paralyzed or poisoned. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe.
That's awesome. That's similar to the
Warforged.
Forge, right?
Yep.
Sentry's Rest. When you take a long rest, you
Same
spend
thing,
at
too.
least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state instead of sleeping. In this state, you appear inert, but you aren't unconscious.
So we've seen that before, I think, with the Warforged.
Yep. You gain 2 tool proficiencies of your choice. Then
this one's cool.
True Life. If the mending spell is cast on you, you can expend a hit die, roll it, and regain a number of hit points equal to the roll plus your constitution modifier, minimum of 1 hit point. In addition, your creator designed you to benefit from common spells that preserve life, but that normally don't affect constructs. Cure wounds, healing word, and spare the dying.
So let's just take a moment to appreciate True Life. Because mending is a cantrip. So they created a cantrip spell, or they took the cantrip and allowed limited its use as a healing spell by consuming a hit die, which is very much something 4th edition did a lot of.
Yep.
And allows you to use a cantrip to heal without making it broken and overpowered, which I think is fantastic. I feel like I should bring up pictures of these things. I don't know if they've released any official ones or not.
Well, not for 5e.
So what do you guys think of this? What is your thoughts on this bad boy?
I think it's a mini-me Warforged.
You're not wrong.
That's funny. What do you think about the mechanics?
I think it's interesting and can be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think this reminds me of the gnomes in World of Warcraft, right? Where you can get you got the little mechanical gnomes running around. I think it fits really good, not only as flavor, but the new inclusion of this race or lineage. Is it a race or it's a race, right? Or a lineage. I forget the difference, but it allows you to basically use your mending cantrip that fits flavor wise but also doesn't restrict you from being. See, there's some benefits that come with the construct, though. There's certain abilities that won't, in magics that won't affect an autognome that would affect other things like charm person, right? That's a humanoid, isn't it? So there's a lot more benefits to being an autognome than they're almost more than meets the eye. Now I want an autognome druid.
Did more damage to cantrips too, so constructs.
That's true.
Wow. Okay.
To constructs, yep. So there's a lot here, and honestly, I feel like they might have gave this a little too much. That's my opinion. I think they gave it a little too much because of the versatility of it being a construct. But that's just Justin's opinion. So next, we're going to talk about the GIF. I love the GIF. They're basically giant hippo-like creatures. And they usually carry guns and shit. Some of them have, smooth skin, while others are short bristles on their face, very much the little, prickly things that hippos have. And, as beings of impressive size and an unforgettable appearance, GIF are noticed wherever they go. That's something that's really interesting to me because from a storytelling perspective as a DM, I can have a lot of fun with that because if it's abnormal to have a giant hippo walking around, the NPCs in the world should be walking or reacting in that way. What's really cool is storytelling is a rich tradition among the GIF, and it's not uncommon to see the GIF recounting their past exploits to enrapture a crowd. Now, the idea of a hippo person bard just sounds great, and using their massive jaw with a bunch of instruments like a bagpipe and then like squeezing on their cheeks just is something I envisioned when I was imagining them telling storytelling. They are humanoid. They are medium size. I would really wish we have small size. I wish they would give us large size races. I really do. I think the Loxodon and the GIF would be really great large races, right? Maybe reduce their speed or something. It does have a what's that?
Or Goliath for that matter.
Yeah, Goliath should also be. They're medium too. They do have they have speed of 30 feet. They also have a swim speed equal to their walking speed. They also have a damage dealer ability called Hippopotamus. Like a hippopotamus in a crystalware shop, you are naturally adept at damaging things. Like I can envision that. I'm thinking I've been doing a lot of Wheel of Time and Loyal being inside of a small shop and bumping into everything. When you roll a 1 on a damage die for a melee attack, you can re-roll the die and use the new roll, or you can do so no more than once per turn. That's really cool because while it's not quite as powerful as like the Great Weapon Master, being able to do that on any melee attack is actually pretty cool. And in my mind, I'm imagining like any character that has like a smaller die, like a D4 with a dagger or something, where that would come up pretty often would be kind of nice. And then, of course, you have Hippo Build, which gives you advantage on strength-based checks and strength saving throws.
Yep.
This is really cool because one of my favorite parts about being a barbarian is advantage on strength ability checks, specifically athletics for grapple. The Hippo Build automatically grants you that and doubles your you count as one size larger for carrying capacity, push, bag, drag, and lift. So to me, this immediately would be my go-to grappler. If I was to play a grappler that wasn't, let's say, a barbarian. What do you guys think about this?
So this one looks like it can be a fun class, especially if you're a melee character of some kind.
Yeah. And you notice it's got a lot less features than the autognome.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it has so many features that are related to combat?
Could be.
I think that's their balancing trait, I think. Brandon, what do you think?
I think that is their balancing trait because getting the advantage on strength-based ability checks and strength saving throws just because of your race. That's actually kind of
and re-rolling damage die. So I think because we see that with the autognome here, when we do look at the autognome, most of its feature are There's only one feature here that's directly related to combat, right? Which is the built for success, right? Which you can increase. You roll this extra die, but you got all this other stuff that's role play or lore based or non-combat related. So I think they're going that way where non-combat features you get more of them, but obviously damage is obviously at the top here. Ian, would you like to tell us about the? I don't know how to say that. Is it the Hadozi?
Hadozi?
Your guess is
Like
good as mine.
is what I thought.
I mean, these guys are basically a cross between monkeys and flying squirrels, is what it comes down to. There are people with stunning features that long ago adapted to live among the trees of their home world. They're a natural climbers with feet as dexterous as their hands, even to the event of having opposable thumbs. And they have membranes of skin loosely hanging from their arms and legs, which, when stretched taut, allows them to glide. Hey,
So
you
these-
get
they're
small
flying
or medium.
They're flying monkey squirrels.
Yep. Climbing speed is equal to walk speed. You can use an object action as a bonus action. And as part of the glide, if you're not incapacitated or wearing heavy armor, you can extend your skin membranes and glide. When you do so, you can do the following aerial maneuvers. When you fall, you can move up to 5 feet horizontally for every 1 foot you descend. And when you take damage from a fall, you can use your reaction to reduce the fall damage to 0.
Dude,
that's kind of fun.
we can officially play as Zoro Norono now, right? Because that implies that you can do stuff with your feet, right? That's what that dexterous feat is. It says use object interaction. So that means no attacks, huh?
Yep.
Oh, well, that's a shame. That is a real shame.
But you can drink a potion.
You can. Wait, is that fall under? That falls under use an object, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice. You can throw caltraps, throw drink potions, apply poisons. You can do a lot with that. I really like that. That's a really cool new trait. Also, flying monkey squirrels, Brandon, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
That's exactly what they are. That'd be great to be able to...
Mitchell has a really good point here. He says variant human is hard to beat. Races with flight are one of the few ways to do it. Let's make note that this isn't flight, it's just glide, right? Does it evolve it doesn't evolve into flight at any point, I don't think.
No, nope. Looks like it.
And as your reaction, you don't take fall damage, which is nice. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What do you guys think about this flying monkey squirrel?
I think
something you would run. You think it's balanced?
To drop off a cliff, and you see your subject below you, and you use your object action as a bonus action to poison your blade, and you assassinate them from the air. Because you can.
My god. Flying squirrel assassins? Dude, what if you reflavor your dagger is like sharpened nuts?
Okay. I do also want to point out that you know how it says for every 1 foot you fall, you can fly up to 5 feet?
Yeah.
I want to point out in one round, you can fall up to 500 feet.
So they basically have wingsuits on, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that they can, as written, if I'm reading this correctly.
When you fall, you can move up to 5 feet horizontally for every 1 foot. So you could
right, you could fall 500 feet for every 6 seconds in D&D.
So you could go 1,500 feet?
No, the math comes out to.
No, that's not right. So for every 5 feet you fall, you can go. Oh, it's every 1 foot.
Every 1 foot you fall, you can move 5 feet horizontally.
Oh, jeez, that's powerful.
It's 500 times 5. It's 1,500.
So
no, it's not.
No, that's not right.
That's 3.
All right, so let's move on to the next one.
500 feet in 6 seconds per round.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That can get you some distance.
Fairy Blood has a better one.
It's like I don't think they
drop bombs
through.
Dude, bombs in the shape of coconut and shape of nuts.
Yeah, 2,500.
No.
Anyway.
Holy shit.
Anyways, let's We'll move on. Who wants to take who just took that one?
I did.
Brandon, you want to tell us about the Plasmoid?
The Plasmoid. Oh,
This is
geez,
awesome.
Plasmoids are amorphous beings with no typical shape. In the presence of other folk, they often adopt a similar form, but there's little chance of mistaking a plasmoid for anything else. They consume food by osmosis, the way an amoeba does, and excrete waste through tiny pores. They breathe by absorbing oxygen through another set of pores, and their limbs are strong and flexible enough to grasp and manipulate weapons and tools.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so it's a sentient amiibo?
Pretty much.
It's an ooze.
Amiibo?
It's an ooze. You get to be an ooze.
Traits. You're an ooze. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
You get to choose to be
Killer Jello.
small or medium. Your speed is still 30 feet. Amorphous, dark vision, and hold breath. Natural resilience. You have resistance to acid and poison damage. That makes sense.
That's two. Wow.
And you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. Shape self.
My next favorite part is that.
Okay. Shape self. If you are not incapacitated, you can reshape your body to give yourself a head, 1 or 2 arms, 1 or 2 legs, and makeshift hands and feet. Or you can revert to a limbless blob. No action required. As a bonus action, you can extrude a pseudopod that is up to 6 inches wide and 10 feet long. Bard's gonna love this. Or reabsorb it into your body. You can use this pseudopod to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, stow or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour out the contents of a container. The pseudopod can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. Is that a dick joke? That's a
Yes.
That's a severe dick joke.
That's a dick joke. I would just have him walking around with this thing sticking out and knocking shit over.
And on another note, I don't see any particular benefit per se written down for about being a blob. Like I would think you could at least force your way into like small cracks or crevasses, but yeah.
Mitchell Adams is saying, so you can't push a button with a pseudopod. Yes, you can. You can use it to manipulate an object, unlock a door, open a container, stow an item. You just can't basically attack with it.
Yep.
Or activate magic items or carry more than 10 pounds. I'm not alone in thinking that was flavored as a dick. Okay, so the reason I love this, so I want to just be able to crawl up on top of people and like cover their head and try to suffocate them. I can hold my breath for an hour, can you? Oh, I also love the idea of having and this came up in one of the TikTok videos I did. Somebody mentioned using the ooze feature to explain as a sorcerer how you got your power by, attaching to people and absorbing parts of them or something, which could be really cool. What do you guys think about this from a flavor perspective?
It could be fun. More options, and we saw like a blob character in the Orville too. So
for sure,
it said you can't look like someone specifically, but
yeah,
I imagine
a feature that lets you
use bandages and a cloak and hood to hide all that, so you look like you might be a real person. Can they speak like common, or do you have to sit there going?
I don't know. I would assume that they speak whatever language you choose, but it doesn't actually say, does it? So good luck, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, none of these actually say that they get a language. I think that's probably just understood. I think there's more to these, but this is just what they're providing in the Unearthed Arcana. Yeah, I do think the thing from a mechanical standpoint, there's a lot to be fun to be had here if you like to role play a lot, because an ooze you literally could be a rogue ooze who takes on the form of like a dessert to spy on people. Like, am I the only one that's thought about that? Like Killer Jello, man. I mean, the gelatinous cube has been doing it for 20 plus years. I finally get to do it. And just a disguise kit to look like, you know, a dessert is just, and then maybe one of your pals is picking it up and carrying you around your dessert, sir. It's a little you might want to wait for it to warm up before you take a bite. It says just to backtrack. Go ahead.
Yeah,
What's it say?
If you're gonna do a flying squirrel race, we should probably do a moose race. It's a reference to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rock and Bullwinkle, absolutely. Good old days, man. Back when TV was terrible.
Don't half-ass it, go full ass.
Yeah. All right, we're running out of time.
Fuck my life.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the three crane. They are very much insectoid creatures. First thing I thought of, Scyther. When I was like, you get a pair of arms, I'm like, no, I want a swords. I don't just a pair of swords. Their bodies are encased in a protective, chitin, and they can alter their colorations of the carapace to blend in. So once again, I'm totally getting awesome rogue vibes. Like when you hide, you are like camouflaging yourself.
Yep.
And just like stopping in front of something and taking on kind of its shape. I really think that these are really cool because they do have they speak by clacking their mandibles and waving antenna and indicating to other three crane that they are thinking and feeling something specific. I think this is the first race that's a monstrosity, if I'm not mistaken. Are there any other monstrosity races?
I don't recall one way or another, but yeah, I remember first seeing these things in the dark sun setting. So
yeah,
and again a few other fun features.
Yeah, so let's talk about the fact that a couple of these races get to choose between being small or medium. I really like that. That's very versatile, and it's certainly something that should be more of an option because people can range from any size, right?
It depends.
The speed, your walking speed, man. I have almost walked on people at the store, so I know that people can be creatures can be of a variety of sizes.
I think that's more a perception score than
whatever. So you get a traditional 30 walking speed, chameleon carapace. When you aren't wearing armor, you get a base armor class of 13 plus your dex, which is cool. As an action, you can change color of your carapace to match the color and texture of your surroundings, giving you advantage on dexterity stealth checks made to hide in those surroundings. Once again, this sounds like an awesome rogue or gloomstalker build, right? They have dark vision. Their dark vision's out to 60 feet. Is the normal 60 feet or is it 30 feet?
60.
It is 60? Okay.
6, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the fact it has extra arms. It has secondary arms. You have two slightly smaller secondary arms below your primary pair of arms. The secondary arms function like your primary arms with the following exceptions. You can use a secondary arm to wield a weapon that has the light property, but you can't use a secondary arm to wield other kinds of weapons. And you can't wield a shield with your secondary arm. Let's take a moment to breathe that in, you guys. You literally can carry 4 blades.
Yep,
that is awesome. So long as they follow the light property,
or 2 blades, 2 blades and 2 light crossbows. Yeah,
2 hand crossbows. 1 hand crossbow, and the other hand can reload it. We just solved the loading issue right here. Let's also talk about sleepless revitalization. You do not require sleep and can choose to remain conscious during long rest. That's awesome. Though you must still refrain from strenuous activity to gain the benefit. This sounds awesome, especially as like a spellcaster, like a wizard, who you can say, my brain is a little slower, so I got to spend all this extra time going through and studying for my homework or my memorization. Then they have 3 crane telepathy, which you have magical ability to communicate mentally with any other number of willing creatures you could see within 120 feet. That is huge. That is such a long way for not being a spell. A contacted creature doesn't need to share a language with you. That's another huge bonus, but it must be able to understand at least language, so it's not, dumb. Your telepathic link to a creature is broken if you and the creature move more than 120 feet apart, obviously, or if you are incapacitated, or either you mentally break it. So this is really fun, man. You can play like the roguish Scyther character with this bad boy, advantage on stealth, wielding 4 blades, and just turning into a freaking blender. What do you guys think?
These things
4
with
wands,
being
a
is
firewall.
really dangerous.
A blender.
I am concerned about the. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean you can attack extra though,
No.
because you're not altering; you're just carrying extra stuff. So
Although
I
it does-
say, go ahead.
Although
Fireball.
it kind of does, like, for at least for this race, solve the issue when it comes to throwing daggers.
Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Not only that, but also the reloading thing too. So there is some really good
Yep.
What
good ways
about
to do this.
what about grappling with larger arms and poisoning with the smaller arms?
Yep.
Hell yeah, grapple with the 2 big ones, use the little ones to poison a dagger and shiv them.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm telling you, this has got Master Rogue written all over it. I want to play one of these really, really hardcore, man. There's so much you can do with these secondary arms.
There's options.
That's really, really cool. I think
That's
that's
not a
all
bite.
that's in this document.
Yep.
So overall, what do your guys think, and when are we getting Spelljammer?
Who knows? I'm guessing sometime this year, but we'll have to see when it's all said and done.
I guess I should explain what Spelljammer is. If you don't know, Spelljammer is a campaign setting that was for advanced D&D, AD&D, which features fantastic outer space environments. That to me just sounds awesome, and with us going into the multiverse, that just makes sense. I mean, the Nautilus machines that the Illithid use are basically spaceships that can travel, different worlds. So I am super excited. Ooh, what did that just say? You can actually grapple a different person with each arm your character has. Oh, dude, that's awesome. So you could, in theory, grapple 4 characters, because it doesn't say you can't. Well, I think a DM would argue, well, you can only wield light weapons, so how are you going to grapple? But you could still grapple with the 2 and wield and stab with the other ones, I suppose.
Right.
And the fact that it can't wield a secondary arm or secondary shield is kind of weird, but that's just me. I don't know. So I'm really excited. Anybody that's watched our plane shifter games knows that we have been delving into the interdimensional realm shifting and stuff on our own games. So really, would you all have to be within reach though? I would assume. I mean, that's how grapple works, right? Grapple 2 orcs, 2 goblins. I would agree with that. I think you could get away with grappling 2 small creatures with those arms. At least I would allow it, but I can see some DMs giving some restrictions there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, is there anything else overall that we want to touch on for the travelers of the multiverse? Any speculations? Because I'm pretty sure that the hippo people are from Spelljammer, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that at a glance these look pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some rebalancing here and there, because
Yeah.
some of these get way more stuff than others.
That definitely, and once again, I think that that's something they're experimenting with, that if you want to play a race that has mostly role play features, you're going to want a lot of them to offset the fact that you're not being able to bitch slap somebody extra hard as a hippo. Do we talk about Gith, or are those hippos? They're not called Gith, they're called
GIFF.
GIFF, not GIF. GIF Yankee and GIF Zerai.
Graphics interface format, fuckers.
Whatever. All right, I think that'll do it for our main topic. I'm really excited to see where this all goes. I want to revisit Dark Sun. I don't know about anybody else. I want to visit. I want to do Spelljammer. I want it all. I want it all. Got 'em old.
Yep.
Anything else before we move on? All right. Let me tell you guys about the awesome news. After 200 pages in nonstop writing, Capes and Crooks, a 5th edition superhero RPG, is going to be available in PDF form on our site at critacademy.com and on DriveThruRPG on January 15th. I am super excited for this. It was so much work and exhausting. So I am very excited for this project to come out. Hopefully, those that have witnessed it and have seen some of the games that we've played and everything will consider picking it up. It was 200. What is it? Over 200 pages, right? It's a lot.
It's
A lot of work. So hopefully everyone will like it, and I look forward to seeing it just fly off the digital proverbial shelf. What's that? Okay, so it is worth noting that we did try to kickstart this and it didn't get funded, but I was so confident then in its popularity that it was going to be worth the massive amount of time that I had to sink into it. But I think that and you got to play test it, Ian. What were your overall thoughts of this Capes and Crooks game?
Quite a bit of fun. It seems like everybody else who played it got a kick out of it. So
Yeah, if you don't know, the biggest thing that we did different is we completely reorganized and redeveloped the way the class creation process goes.
yeah.
Because you basically can be or build anything, as far as I can tell right now with the options that we've got, or at least some variation of it, without getting sued.